Hey everyone, I'm Vadim. I'm a video tech specialist here at Nagios, and today we'll explore a feature called Business Process Intelligence. BPI allows you to group hosts and services to represent a larger service or department. This is useful for monitoring clusters. For an example, you could have one server that goes down, such as your web server, and your website will still continue to function. And that BPI group can then generate a warning alert. And if you have a second server that goes down, your site might be failing, so this would generate a critical alert so you could take action quickly and get both machines up and running. Now, let's take a look at this feature. To find BPI, you could either search it at the search bar at the top and type in BPI, or go to Details on the left side, then click BPI. On the right, you could find any BPI groups that you've created previously. You could edit them on the right side or delete them. Then you could expand these groups and see all the individual hosts in each group. You could have multiple groups in a group. For instance, I have this 10-test and test in main. And for our example, I'll delete test. And you could see that the group was removed successfully. To view all your BPI groups, click on All Priorities on the left. Then you could see all the BPI groups that you've created. You could also sort them by high priority, medium priority, low priority, host groups, and service groups. Under the Host and Service Group tab, you have a button that automatically syncs these groups, which makes it easy when you have custom host and service groups set up in XI. This automatic sync feature is part of our enterprise features. If you want to see any more documentation, you could click here. If you want to change any settings for BPI, you could click here. And any config managements, let's just say you messed up a configuration, you could view changes from current config. You could restore, download, or archive a specific backup. And if you wanted to create a backup, you could click this button here or edit the configuration. And now we're going to create a new BPI group. The group ID we'll name test, and the display name we'll name it test123. You could add a group description if you would like, as well as an info URL. If you wanted to toggle if this is a primary group, you could click that here. And then under that, you have your health thresholds. You have a warning and critical percentages. Unlike most checks, in BPI, your critical thresholds will be lower than your warning. The thresholds here are based on overall percentage health of the entire group. So the lower the percentage, the more problems there are and the bigger the problem is. Under that, you'll find priority, which we have the option to select high, medium, or low. I'll select high. Then under that, you could find authorized users. I'll click Vadim. And on the right, we'll find our available hosts, services, and BPI groups. Hosts are labeled H, services are labeled S, and BPI groups are labeled G. We will scroll down and select a host. For instance, I want to select this 10.10.20.10. And once we add this member, it'll show up at the bottom. If you wanted to select multiple hosts at the same time, you could click one of the hosts or services. Then while holding Shift, you select how many you want to select. And it'll automatically populate the hosts in between. And then we could add members. If you wanted to select a specific host that's not in a row, for instance 14 ping and 15 ping, you could hold Control. Then you could click the individual services and add members. Once you have that selected, You also have the option to check if a host, service, or group is an EM, or essential member. If an essential member goes down or is in a problem state, the entire group will automatically go critical. For an example, essential members on a Nagios log server instance would be the Logstash and OpenSearch services. You could also clear all members here. Once you have that saved, write the configuration. And now we see that our group health is at 100% with all the hosts and services that we have selected below. And now we could take a look at the BPI Configuration Wizard. In step 1, you can name the BPI hostname. We'll name it Linux Groups. And then we want to select the Linux server's host group and hosts. And notice when we click on the next host group, it'll change the selected groups on the right side. But I want to select multiple at the same time. So when we select Linux servers, as well as all these host groups that are Linux based, we want to hold Control, then click the individual host groups. That way, it'll add them all at the same time on the right. Then we'll click Next. And then for the monitoring settings, under normal circumstances, it'll monitor the host every 5 minutes. And when a potential problem first is detected, it'll recheck the host or service every 1 minute up to 5 times before sending a notification. If everything looks good here, we'll click Next. Then for notification settings, you could either choose to not send any notifications, send a notification immediately, or wait a certain amount of time before sending a notification. And if the problem persists, it'll send a notification every 60 minutes until the problem is resolved. And then below that, you could send alert notifications to myself, other individuals, or specific contact groups. Then we'll click Next. Now we have the option to select any host groups, service groups, or if there's any parent hosts. We'll click Next and click Finish and Apply. And then we'll view status details for the Linux groups. It will take some time for these statuses to load. It can be an OK status, a critical status, or a warning status. I hope this video has helped you understand more about BPI. And now you can view your group health as well as sync hosts and service groups very easily. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, consider checking out our YouTube channel for more helpful content. And if you have further questions, please visit support.nagios.com. I'll see you in the next one.